Hey, I'm Theo, and thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about the loaner decks, free decks that you get when you are a new or returning player. And what that means is, well, new player, pretty obvious. You get these decks once you get past the beginner ranks, or if you skip it. And a returning player means that you haven't played the game for the last 90 days. So, yeah, you played at the start of the last expansion and stopped playing, you come back now. You should be able to get access to these decks. And what it means is you get to play with these 6 decks for a week, and then at the end of it, you get to choose one of them to keep. Now in this video, I'll be going over which deck you should be picking. And there's 3 factors I'll be judging these decks on. First of all, well, is the deck decent in like the beginner ranks, like bronze, silver, maybe gold, to actually play there by themselves without many modifications? Second, does the deck have a lot of dust? Like if you just disenchant every card, do you get a lot of dust to craft whatever you want? And third, what cards do you get with them, and how useful are they by themselves in other decks? So that's the 3 factors I'll be judging these 6 decks that you can see here by. And well, let's go over them one by one. First of all, we have the Dragon Priest deck or the Zrimi Priest deck. Now we're looking at the epics and legendaries in every deck, and yeah, see how good they are. Rares and commons, yeah, they don't really influence your budget too much, so I won't be discussing those. But here we have the dragons, and what legendaries are in this deck. We have Pip, the Potent, Time Minus Remy, and Amalthul, and the deck has no epics. So first of all, this deck, it's fine, I think. I would change 2 cards though to begin with into a free card, so that everybody can do it. I take out Holy Springwater and claim Matriarch and put in 2 times the Ship Virgin, which is a core card, so it's free and should make this deck a lot better. These 2 cards don't really make a lot of sense in this deck. Now the cards you're getting, Pip, it's alright, gets played in OVO Priest, and this is a Remy Priest, so it's solid, but I wouldn't even say it's completely necessary in those decks. Zrimi Priest, yeah, only gets played in this deck, and yeah, pretty core. Can't really play this deck without it. And then we have Amalthul, and yeah, one of the best cards in the game, and played in every Priest deck. So really good if you want to be playing Priest. And depending what kind of Priest deck you would like to play, then these 2 might also be solid. So dust, I think it's a little bit under the highest dust you can get, but it's close enough. So it's not really a strike against this deck. So overall, I'd say solid choice if you want to play a deck like this. Then we have the Paladin deck. First of all, we got 1 epic, which is the Cardboard Golem. Pretty much this dust. It doesn't really get played anything. We also have the Crusade Aura, but that's a free card. And then we have the 3 legendaries in this deck, which are Toy Captain Tarim, Amethyst the Peacekeeper, and Geomancer Geppetto. Now Geppetto, yeah, doesn't really see play much right now, so this card is kind of a wasted legendary, so pretty much fun with dust. And then we have Amethyst, which is played in almost any Paladin deck, and the same with Tarim, which is also played in almost any Paladin deck. Overall, really strong cards in this deck if you want to play Paladin, and Paladin overall is always one of the better classes to ladder with. So yeah, this is a pretty good choice if you want to play some Paladin and already get ahead with these 2 legendaries. This deck by itself, I think it had like the highest win rate if you just don't change anything. It just does Paladin things. And also, I think this is the deck that has the most dust, and but only slightly ahead of the next few decks. But yeah, I think this is a really nice deck to begin with. Then next up, we have the Hunter deck with some big beast with King Plies, Banjosaur. And yeah, it has a few epics. We got the Cattle Rustler, and we got the Mystery Egg. Now, Cattle Rustler, it seems like no play at the moment. So yeah, this is kind of a wasted epic, I'd say. Mystery Egg, kind of the same way, although it's seen in the past a little bit of play. I think in like a Highlander Hunter deck. It does see a bunch of play in Wild. So if you're interested in like Wild, then this could be useful. But otherwise, if you're just playing Standard, then yeah, these epics, not very useful. Then we have the legendaries. We have Mr. Mukla and King Plush. Now, King Plush has never really seen play in any Standard deck. And Mr. Mukla is a little bit better though. It's seen a bit of play. It's a 10-10 and can mess with your opponent's hand. But overall, not really necessary right now in any deck. And yeah, Hunter is kind of weak at the moment. And yeah, these cards don't even get played in those decks that currently see play. So overall, yeah, the cards, not the greatest cards to use in your collection. The deck by itself though is kind of just fine. It's got a solid win rate again in those beginner ranks, so that's not too bad. And overall the dust as well is close to the max dust you can get. So yeah, I would only really pick the Hunter if you really want to be playing with these the hunting cards. Not any really other good reason to pick it. Then we have Alonius, and you'd think with a name like that this would be the best loner deck, but it's quite the opposite. It's by far the worst. I don't know why they put it in here. At first sight, you might think, oh, it's got 4 legendaries, but Malygos, Alexstrasza, and Thaldos, they're all free. So yeah, that's 0 dust you gain. You already have these cards. And then the only legendary you get is Alonius, and that doesn't see any play at all at the moment. That's the only legendary, and there's not even any epics. So in terms of dust, this is by far the worst, and the deck itself is also by far the worst out of these 6 decks. It just tries to do a few things, but then it just does them very, very poorly with Alonius and like some dragons, but you don't really have enough dragons for it. You don't have enough setup for Alonius. Yeah, this deck just doesn't work, and yeah, there's no reason to ever pick this one. So that's pretty simple. Then the next up we have the Demon Hunter with some big demons. Now this is the deck with the most epics. We have 5 in total. We got 2 red cards, 2 times the Window Shopper, and a Mythical Terror. And well, Mythical Terror, that's pretty unplayable. So that's just dust, a red card. Seen a bit of play, so that could be okay, but not completely necessary. And then we have the Window Shopper, which is basically the name of the best Demon Hunter deck, the Shopper Demon Hunter. So yeah, if you want to play Demon Hunter, yeah, this is pretty needed. And it's a really strong card. Though weirdly enough, this deck is not running the weapon, what makes it so good. And then we have a few legendaries in here with McTheridan. Yeah, no deck has ever played this, so it's a wasted card. Nemilia is free. And then we have the Going Down Swinging, and this is getting played in almost any Demon Hunter deck, so pretty good card if you're interested in Demon Hunter. And overall the deck, it's not a really good deck. It doesn't really win a lot. The dust cost though, pretty solid. Pretty close to the maximum you can get. So yeah, I would really only pick this if you really want to be playing Demon Hunter, because you get Window Shopper and you get Going Down Swinging, and those are really strong cards in Demon Hunter. And then last, and well, close to least, is Death Knight. And this deck has no epics, just like the Druid deck, even though, yeah, these are epics, these are free cards. It does have 2 legendaries, at least, compared to Druid, with their only one. We have a Maulpaw and the Headless Horseman. And yeah, these cards, they're seeing play, especially Headless Horseman. It's a really fun card to play with. But yeah, it's really actually not necessary at the moment to see play if you want to play Death Knight. And Maulpaw is even worse. Like, definitely no need to play this card if you want to play Death Knight. So yeah, these cards, not the greatest. Also the dust, again, only 2 legendaries, so the dust is pretty poor. And this deck, it's alright. Can make this deck work in a few ranks, but not really that much dust, not really the best cards. So not really the greatest choice. So overall, which deck would I recommend? Now I think the number 1 deck I would recommend is the Paladin deck. The legendaries are really good, the deck is solid, and with the cards you get from this deck you can start building towards some of the best Paladin decks. So that is really nice. Also has the most dust, so you can't really go wrong with this deck. Second best deck I'd pick is the Priest deck, because it also has a bunch of solid legendaries, especially Amalthul. So if you're interested in Priest, this deck is good and you're not losing too much on dust. And the deck is pretty solid by itself. And besides these 2, I wouldn't really pick the other deck. Especially never pick Druid. There's just nothing good about this deck. And the other 3, they don't really have too much going on for them over Priest and Paladins, unless you really want some specific cards or you really want to play that class. Yeah, I would not pick those. So, and that is it for this this video. Hope it helped you in choosing your free deck. Let me know in the comments what deck you chose. And thank you very much for watching, and until next time.